This could be the year Nikon goes all in. With heavy hitters like the Nikon Z9 II and Z8 II on the horizon, the much-awaited ZF II gaining momentum, and mystery cameras like the Nikon Z90 and retro-styled ZRC stirring serious curiosity, Nikon's upcoming lineup looks stacked with ambition. These aren't minor refreshers, they're potential game changers across pro, hybrid and enthusiast tiers. Some make perfect sense, others raise big questions. Stick with us till the end of this video, because one of these rumoured cameras might just be Nikon's smartest move in years. The Nikon ZF II exists right now only as a collective itch in photographers' brains, and honestly, that's kind of fitting for a camera rooted in nostalgia. If the original ZF was Nikon proving it still remembered how to make a camera feel like an object of desire, the ZF II should be the moment where romance meets refinement. Imagine the same unapologetically retro silhouette, cold metal dials clicking with intent, but with fewer compromises hiding under the vintage jacket. This is where Nikon could quietly fix the gripes without breaking the spell. Faster brains, smarter autofocus, and a sensor that feels a little less safe and a little more daring. Maybe higher resolution, maybe quicker readout, maybe just more confidence when the light drops and the subject moves. The ZF II doesn't need to chase sports shooters or cinema rigs. It just needs to feel sharper, snappier, and more intuitive when instincts take over. Think smoother manual focus assists, deeper customization, and controls that respect the retro look while behaving like a modern tool. Video could step up without stealing the spotlight, and ergonomics could improve without turning it into another anonymous mirrorless slab. The magic of a ZF II wouldn't be headline specs. It would be the feeling that Nikon listened, refined, and resisted the urge to overdo it. The Nikon ZRC feels like Nikon quietly slipping a creator-first wildcard onto the table, and honestly, it's a bold one. Rumoured as a compact APS-C video-centric camera, landing in late 2026, the ZRC is shaping up to be a mini cinema disruptor, rather than just another beginner mirrorless body. Think Z30 level portability, but infused with the brains of Nikon's modern video ambitions. X-Speed 7 processing, Z9 derived autofocus algorithms, and a 2.0.9 MPDX sensor tuned less for still's glory and more for clean, reliable video performance. By ditching the EVF and mechanical shutter, Nikon isn't cutting corners, it's making a statement. This is a camera designed to live on tripods, gimbals, and desks, pumping out 4K 60p 10-bit footage without overheating drama, while features like N-Log, HLG, waveform tools, tally lights, and fast USB-C PD charging quietly scream serious creator tool. Add rumoured extras like breathing compensation, dual base ISO, advanced LUT support, and Nokia Ozo audio intelligence, and suddenly the ZRC starts sounding dangerously close to a budget cinema camera wearing a friendly price tag. At an expected $649, $799. Nikon appears ready to poke Canon's EOS R50 and Sony's ZV lineup right where it hurts. Bit depth, colour science, and workflow-friendly design. If these leaks hold true, the Nikon ZRC won't just be an entry-level camera, it'll be Nikon's most accessible invitation yet.
Let's be honest, the jack of all trades has often been a backhanded compliment in the camera world, implying a master of none. But the Nikon Z6 line has been steadily dismantling that notion, and the potential of a Z6 IV has us believing we might be on the cusp of perfection. This isn't just an upgrade, it feels like the culmination of a philosophy. We imagine it as that trusted weathered leather journal that somehow also contains a supercomputer. a tool that feels intuitive in your hands, but is capable of anything you throw at it. The dream for the Z6 IV isn't necessarily about raw, flagship-breaking power. It's about flawless execution. We're yearning for a sensor that finds the sweet spot, perhaps nestled comfortably in the 30 to 33 megapixel range. This would be a significant leap from the Z6 III's 24 megapixel, offering that extra cropping latitude for landscape shooters and portrait photographers without plunging into the massive file sizes and potential low-light compromises of a 60 megapixel beast. It would be the perfect canvas, detailed enough for large prints but forgiving enough for a dimly lit reception hall. And for the love of all things cinematic, we're dreaming of a video suite that fully unlocks this sensor. We want oversampled 4K from 6K across all frame rates, with 10-bit 422 color as the standard. Toss in 4K 120p for buttery slow motion, and Nikon wouldn't just have a hybrid camera. They'd have the definitive tool for the independent filmmaker and the content creator who refuses to compromise. But specs are only half the story. The true excitement lies in the feel. We want the Z6 IV to inherit the Z6 III's stunning bright EVF and robust build, but with a few subtle refinements. An even more customizable interface, a battery that laughs in the face of a long shooting day, and an autofocus system that feels less like technology and more like a psychic connection. We're talking about AI that doesn't just recognize a human eye, but anticipates a subject's movement through a crowd, or maintains a lock on a pet's gaze as they dart through dappled forest light. The Z6 IV in our minds is the camera you grab when you have no idea what you're going to shoot, but you know you need to be ready for everything. It's the ultimate storyteller's sidekick, and its potential is what keeps us endlessly fascinated. If the Z9 was Nikon's declaration of war on the mirrorless status quo, then the Z9 II is poised to be its victory march. This is the Halo, the apex predator, the camera that exists not to compete but to dominate. The excitement for the Z9 II isn't just about wanting a new tool, it's a visceral desire to witness the peak of what imaging technology can achieve. It's the thrill of the absolute, the no-compromise pinnacle that fuels the dreams of every photographer, whether they can afford one or not. We are excited for the sheer, unadulterated power. The rumors of a new stacked sensor, even if it remains around 45 megapixels, paired with a next-generation dual-speed processor, suggest performance that borders on clairvoyant. We're talking about raw burst rates that touch 40 frames per second, with a buffer so deep it feels bottomless. We imagine an autofocus system that has evolved from recognizing subjects to understanding scenes, potentially preempting action by tracking the muscle tension in an athlete's legs before they leap, or the shift in a bird's wings before it takes flight. This is the camera for the professional who cannot, under any circumstances, miss the shot. The photojournalist in a war zone, the wildlife photographer on a once-in-a-lifetime safari, the sports shooter whose image will grace the cover of a global magazine. The Z9 II is their ultimate insurance policy. Beyond the stills, the video capabilities spark the imagination of a new cinematic era for Nikon. With the acquisition of Red, the possibility of internal compressed raw video in 8K at high frame rates is no longer a fantasy. It's an expectation. We're excited for a camera that doesn't just shoot video but produces cinema-grade footage ready for color grading on a major motion picture. This, combined with pro-level connectivity like 5G for instant transmission, and a body built to survive the elements, positions the Z9 II as more than a camera. It's a mobile production studio. The excitement for the Z9 II is the excitement of witnessing a benchmark being set. It's the tool that will define the next decade of professional imaging, and its shadow looms large and inspiring over the entire industry. There is a certain kind of photographer who worships at the altar of detail. For them, the world is a tapestry of infinitesimal textures. The gossamer weave of a spider's web beaded with morning dew, the intricate cracks in a weathered portrait subject's hands, the endless fractal complexity of a mountain range under a setting sun. These are the shooters for whom the Z7 line was born, And the mere hint of a Z7 III feels like a long-awaited letter from home. After years of silence, this camera represents Nikon's return to its high-resolution roots, and the possibilities are intoxicating. The core of our excitement is, unsurprisingly, the sensor. The jump from the Z7 II's respectable 45.7 megapixel to a rumored 61 megapixel or even a staggering 67 megapixel is not just a numerical increase. It's a paradigm shift. It's the difference between capturing a scene and dissecting it. With that resolution, the act of cropping becomes an act of creative rediscovery, allowing you to find hidden compositions within a frame long after you've left the location. For commercial and studio photographers, this is the difference between good enough and flawless, providing the resolution bank to meet any client's demanding crop or print requirement. We imagine the files, rich with dynamic range, offering a malleability in post-production that feels less like editing and more like sculpting with light. Yet, a high-resolution body is nothing if it's cumbersome or slow. This is where the Z7 III's true potential shines. We aren't just excited for the pixels, we're excited for the pace. The integration of the Expeed 7 processor promises to breathe life into these massive files. Imagine a high-res camera that isn't a statue, one that can fire off bursts at 15 frames per second, its buffer swallowing dozens of raw files without a gulp. Envision an autofocus system borrowed from the Z8, with deep learning AI that makes the critical task of nailing focus on a subject's eye at f1.2 with a 67 megapixel sensor feel effortless and reliable. This is the promise of the Z7 III, the soul of a medium format camera in the body of a nimble athlete. It's the tool for the landscape photographer who also chases wildlife at golden hour, or the portrait artist who needs to freeze a model's fleeting, perfect expression. It's a camera that doesn't ask you to choose between resolution and speed, and that, more than anything, is why its arrival is so eagerly awaited. Some legends never die, they just fade away, waiting for the right moment to return. In the Nikon world, that legend is the D500, and the phantom we all hope will carry its torch is the Nikon Z90. This camera inspires a different kind of excitement, one born of nostalgia, niche needs, and a fierce loyalty to the APS-C format. The Z90 isn't about being the biggest or the most powerful, it's about being the perfect specialist, and that specificity is what makes it so compelling. Our excitement for the Z90 is the excitement of the hunter. We envision a lightweight, lightning-fast body with a high-resolution APS-C sensor, perhaps 33 megapixels, paired with the same killer autofocus from the Z8. This combination is a dream for wildlife and sports photographers. That sensor effectively turns a relatively compact and affordable 400mm f/4.5 lens into a 600mm f/4.5 equivalent, offering incredible reach without requiring a Sherpa to carry it. The potential for in-body image stabilization, a first for a Nikon DX flagship, would make this setup deadly effective in the low light of a forest or at dawn. The Z90 represents agility and access, a camera that lets you get closer to the action, both physically and financially, than any full-frame counterpart. But the true thrill of the Z90 lies in what it represents: a commitment. We are excited by the possibility that Nikon hasn't forgotten its dedicated DX user base. The enthusiasts and pros who built their kits around the D500 and have been holding their breath for a true mirrorless successor. A powerful Z90 would signal that Nikon believes in a future where format is a choice, not a compromise. It would validate the patience of those who have clung to their beloved DSLRs, waiting for a mirrorless option worthy of an upgrade. The Z90 is more than a camera, it's a symbol. It's the promise that speed, reach, and affordability can coexist in a modern mirrorless package. It's the hope that a classic Nikon spirit is ready to be reborn, and that hope is a powerful, electrifying thing. The original Z8 was a mic drop. It was Nikon condensing the monumental power of the Z9 into a form factor that mortal humans could reasonably carry. It was for many the perfect camera. So why does the idea of a Z8 II send such a thrill through the community? because perfection is a moving target, and the Z8 II represents the chance to not just meet it, but to redefine it. This isn't about fixing flaws, it's about pushing the boundaries of what we believe is possible in a compact flagship. Our excitement for the Z8 II is rooted in the pursuit of the seamless experience. We dream of a camera that eliminates the tiny, almost imperceptible friction points of professional work. We want a sensor with a readout speed so blisteringly fast that the term rolling shutter becomes a forgotten relic of the past, whether you're panning at 20 frames per second or shooting 8K video. We're craving a new thermal management system that turns overheating concerns into a myth, allowing for limitless 8K 60p recording, effectively putting a cinema camera into a still shooter's body. This is the camera for the hybrid creator who is as likely to be hired for a documentary as a wedding, and who demands absolute reliability from both their photo and video tools. But the allure goes beyond pure performance. We're excited by the prospect of refinement, a deeper, more ergonomic grip that makes hand-holding the massive 400mm f2.8 lens feel like a natural extension of your arm. An electronic viewfinder with such staggering resolution and refresh rate that the world outside the camera ceases to exist, completely immersing you in the moment of creation. A starlit, low-light autofocus system that sees in near darkness, unlocking new creative possibilities for astrophotography and event work. The Z8 II in our minds is the embodiment of confidence. It's the camera you take into any situation, from a chaotic sports arena to a silent, sacred ceremony, and know, not hope, but know that it will perform. It's the final piece of gear you'll ever feel you need to buy, and the beginning of a new chapter in what you can create. The original Z8 was a masterpiece. The Z8 II could be the legend.
So, this was our latest list of upcoming Nikon cameras that are expected to be announced this year and beyond. Which Nikon camera are you most excited for? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe for more content like this, and as always, thanks for watching.